Any tips on not getting tilted? I feel like this game has so much gimmicks and cheese. I'm coming from Tekken though. I feel like it's very hard not to get tilted. I would tell you, at least during Street Fighter 5, I would be like, you know, watch a replay or, you know, take a walk or something. But in this game, dumb shit kind of just happened. But like I said, I think really the main frustration is like, there's potential here. This actually has potential to be like one of the greatest fighting games of all time. Problem is, Capcom not capitalizing on the potential. That's really the main problem. I don't think there's many games that have a lot of potential, but I really do think 6 has a lot of potential. I feel like Strive capitalized off their potential. I feel like 6 just isn't doing it. Even Dragon Ball capitalized off their potential. I don't know what the game is like now, but if you make a game and it's like, okay, this game is good, but there's a lot of stuff you could iron out to make it better, and then you keep making it better, then the game gets better. 6 is like, okay, the game launched, is fine, whatever. First season of every fighting game is but it could get better. But Capcom's just like, nah, it's fine.
Hey YouTube, glad you've been enjoying all the videos I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as like and share the video.
So this was what the war on Drive Rush, it was indeed the Sagat clip. I saw people talking about it. But it was the Sagat clip I saw on Twitter. And I'm sure most of you guys have seen it already. And yeah. That was the whole clip. You know, he kind of got smoked by Drive Rush. But the whole problem was there were so many people on the Twitter comments just saying crazy things. Now, this isn't going to go into the typical, oh, here goes iDom again hating on Drive Rush. You know, I just got Street Fighter 6 is my first fighting game and iDom's a hater as usual. This is not going to go into one of those kind of videos. I just want to know why. Why is this a thing? He could have level 1 super that? Actually, no. So the problem with level 1 super here would be if Terry does a level 1 super here before the Tiger Nexus comes out, because during the screen freeze on the level 1, Sagat would still have time to cancel into his level 1, and then Sagat's level 1 would be done second, so it would probably have more invincibility than Buster Wolf. So actually, even if you use modern reaction, I don't think that would have worked. The only modern thing you could have done was EXDP here, which I guess that would have worked. That wasn't hype. I don't think that was a hype moment. But there are a lot of people in like the comments saying like, he's better. He checked your check. There's so many people who are saying like, it's smart. And I really do think this is just like SF6 brain or something. But like, he's right. So he's just smarter. But there are so many people like, this is just like a dive kick. This is just, you know, normal. Yeah, this is just like a dive kick. You know, I'm spending a resource, so I deserve a mix up or something like, oh, I spent 1 Drive Rush bar, so I deserve something. Which, you know what's funny? I would be more inclined to agree with that guy who was saying, oh, I spent 1 bar, so I deserve a mix. I would be more inclined to agree if the meter didn't regenerate in this game. I feel like people also don't factor in that. If you got 6 random mix-ups like that and you just had to get one of them right, then I'll be like, okay, fine, whatever. But the meter regenerates. If they play lame and wait for the meter, they earned it. That's what I wish. I'm kind of with you. I wish more fighting games did more PTR servers like League. Overwatch did a lot of them as well. I wish fighting games did that, but like fighting games aren't that big. But at the same time, I really do wish Street Fighter had like a PTR server to try out some of these changes, because I think this is so dumb. I really don't understand a good defense for this. But if you look at the Twitter comments or anything, it's just like, nah, this was godlike. Everyone's just hating. Even Big Bird said, and I agree, one of the things that pissed me off about this game, I don't mind Drive Rush being strong and hard to check, but at least if I'm going to punish it or I'm 100% looking for it, let me not get clapped by this, which is exactly what happened. That's one thing, and like I said, that happened to me versus Boost yesterday in the World Warrior, where like I'm so honed in on Drive Rush, but then it's just like, yo, I did Drive Rush Fireball because I'm better. I don't even think this is like, I don't think that's exciting. To me, this is just like, damn, Drive Rush is stupid. I think Drive Rush should follow the same rule as like a dash in Street Fighter 5, but then people get so like bad at it. I mean, like people, I don't know, people hated 5 for that. But if I'm looking for something, I really just think it should be 100%. Like if I'm literally just like, this guy is bad, he's going to do this, and then you proceed to do this, and I get smacked in the face for it. So I think in SF5, they were just hard to check because the online was trash. I mean, whichever way you want to, you know, spin it, for sure. But I don't think this is healthy for anyone at all. I don't think you should be able to do specials out of Drive Rush, like at all. I don't think that's good at all. I think that would fix a lot of things too, but I don't think you should be able to do specials out of Drive Rush at all. No Drive Rush command grab, no Drive Rush DP, no Drive Rush, like any of that stuff. Drive Rush Tiger Nexus. I don't think you should be able to do specials out of Drive Rush at all. Is the problem Drive Rush itself or just the resource economy? Well, this game has no resource management. This game has one of the worst resource managements I've seen in a fighting game. And like I said, this is not even me trying to be mean, but this is just how the game is. This game actually has one of the worst resource managements I've seen in a fighting game. Other fighting games have better ones. Marvel 3 is better, Strive is better, whatever you want to say is better. Street Fighter 5 was better in that sense. But the drive system's just so kind of, it's bad because it regenerates. And you know, MK11 had a bad system like this too because of the regenerating meter. So it's funny that people are praising like the drive system because regenerating meter in general is just bad and no game has done it well so far. I think Street Fighter 6 has heavy resource management. So many people get killed for not managing their resources. Not really, because I see so many people not manage their resources well, stall out for meter, and then just do the same thing over again. Noah's king of that. There's a lot of people who do that. Even Mena does it a lot too, where he'll force a mix. If the mix doesn't hit, he's just gonna stall for meter to do the mix again. I really wish I could have a sit down with the Street Fighter 6 dev, because I want to know what they're thinking. I just want to know what's going through their mind. Like the Strive devs are actually a lot more transparent with what they're going for, but the 6 devs are just in silence, man. Like I legit don't know what they're thinking. Yeah, the way the Tekken community interacts with the Tekken devs is bad, but I think that's just people being toxic. What was it? Nerf Kazuya? Or was it Buff Kazuya when they called Michael Murray the N-word? But I also think it's just hard in general because you're trying to balance for 2 different levels. Because I don't think the Platinum Sagat player is doing this. Because like I said, there's so much praise in like the Twitter comments of like, oh, he checked your check. He shit on you, brother. He's better. Literally playing modern, can't complain. You're playing modern. Like, bro, it's so funny because there's such a direct disconnect of that. What's the problem? It's just a counter to a counter. Skill issue. He diffed you. He had you download it and you're on easy mode control. To be quite honest, you mashed that full screen. Like, bro, this is hurting my head reading these comments. Yeah, I did see people saying too, like, oh, this is why I dislike Sagat. Like, brother, this is a game problem. That could have been Bison, and Bison could have killed you. That could have been Bison. That could have been Ken doing Drive Rush, Dragon Lash. That could have been anyone. You know, this is kind of like a double-edged sword because people would always be like, oh, you're complaining because you're bad. And it's the same thing here because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, now I can say he's complaining because he's bad. I hate saying this, but I really do think this game's really good if you don't. This game's really good if you're not trying to get better at it or you're bad. I hate saying that, but I really do think that. This game's really good if you're not trying to get better and or you're bad. I'm trying to help people get better at Street Fighter, and to show them this and then people be like, yo, he got outplayed is asinine. Like it's crazy to think about. I can't believe people in the Twitter comments are legit saying that Terry got outplayed. It's like I said, literally mind-numbing. I don't even think casuals would notice. That's what bothers me. If they made Drive Rush easier to check, bro, the people in Platinum aren't even drive rushing like this. Like, bro, you have no kind of, you're not dealing with this. That's why I don't get. You're not dealing with this at all. You know, there's something else to this too that I think is funny because everyone's saying, no, this was just a smart play. Brother, I don't think this would work in any other fighting game. Like, I don't think any other fighting, this is teaching people stuff that won't even play other fighting games, because there's no other fighting game this would work in. If Street Fighter 7 comes out and you can't do this, and then people are like, oh wow, SF7 is bad. It's like, bro, what did you accomplish with 6? This is just this game being dumb. The amount of people also in the comments complaining about modern is also a bit it's a bit alarming as well. The fact that everyone's just saying modern's broken is so funny. People are complaining about the wrong thing. There's a few self-reports in this game. I think complaining about modern's a self-report. Anyone who complains about Ingrid is honestly self-reporting. I've noticed that, and you see so many people online complaining about Ingrid. It's insane. Whenever I see that, I'm like, holy shit, this guy is so bad if he's complaining about Ingrid. I don't think modern's fun to fight, but I also think modern's just annoying because how the game works is more the system mechanics on top of modern. The part about strong tool that players have built over time and give them, I mean, that's just how the games work in general. That's how every fighting game works. No matter, like, SF6 is a bit backwards in that sense, but I guess people do like that about SF6. Even Tekken 8's a bit backwards in that sense as well. But you know, if you're playing a game and you're starting with full resources to do damage, you're already taking a lot of damage from the jump. So it doesn't really matter. And then that's where I kind of always be like, there's no actual meter management. You know, if I played Strive and I started with 100 tension, I might just run the person over at that point. But that's not how the game works. I start with burst, so I don't get ran over, but burst isn't really an offensive mechanic. That's why Wild Assault was so frowned upon. Because if you start and you just keep Wild Assault looping them over and over and over again, it's like, okay, wait a minute, this is kind of stupid. So, you know, take a Wild Assault or do that. Starting with resources doesn't really make sense because it kind of rewards just running the person over and or kind of anticipates dumb like that. I don't like stuff like this because people could do this in any game. Soul could have did round start, bandit bringer into DP. Like, I don't think this is SF6 being bad. This is literally any game. So I'm not saying that's SF6. That's any, yeah, that happened in Street Fighter 5 and 4. That's kind of the other downside. Like I said, for me, it's weird because like my first Street Fighter was Street Fighter 4. And even when Street Fighter 4 first came out, I remember when everyone was like, you know, baby game, comeback mechanic, etc., etc. So I get it. I get it. I've seen all the complaints. I've seen the 4 complaints. I've seen the 5 complaints, and I see the 6 complaint. But as a Street Fighter veteran, I definitely think 6 deserves more flack because Drive Rush is just kind of silly. The character identity is also bad. That's why I hate when people. I saw people even saying, "Oh, this is a Sagat problem." Terry could have did this. Sagat could have did this. Bison could have did this. Viper could have done this. Ryu could have done this. Akuma could have done this. Like, Ken could have done this. I think there's probably less characters that can't do this than Ken. Who could have done this? Ryu could have done this. Luke could have done this. Can Chun do it? I don't really think so. Jamie could have done it. Kim could have done this. Juri, not really, right? Juri doesn't really have a good thingy. Ken could have done this. Blanca could have done this. DJ could have done this. Marissa could have done this. JP, not really either, right? Chun could do it with Hazanshu. JP, not really. Cammy's not gonna do it. Lily, no. Keith technically could do Drive Rush Heavy Punch, but she not really either. Aki could do it. Ed could do it. Akuma could do it. Bison could do it. Terry could do it. Mai's not gonna get a full combo. Elena could do it. Sagat could do it. Viper could do it. Alex could do it. I think that's it, right? That is a lot of characters. I think there's more characters that can't do it. A Drive Rush special move like that into a combo. What Drive Rush special is Rashid doing? Oh, does it? Oh yeah, I guess you're right. You know what else I think is funny too? So there's a lot of people, and it's always funny looking at these clips. You know when people always be like, oh, iDom, you only hate Drive Rush because you play Manon, and Manon doesn't have good checks for Drive Rush. Bro, this is Terry. This is like top 5 character in the game right now. Still getting smoked by Drive Rush. It's so funny. People really just try to like beat around the bush when it comes to all these game mechanics. I think there's just a lot of bad players that play SF6. And that's not a good thing, because like I said, that means fighting games are growing. But I do think there's just a lot of bad players that play SF6.